Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. One of the most heated topics in gaming right now is the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection. Now, last week here on the channel, I went ahead and did my review on the overall collection on the PS5 and the Xbox, but I wanted to try the Nintendo Switch version because a lot of people were saying the Nintendo Switch version is unplayable. You can't play this thing. Well, guys, I went ahead and picked up the Nintendo Switch version, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on this god-awful version of Metal Gear Solid, the Master Collection. Now, the Master Collection has its ups and its downs, and I kind of highlighted all the pros and the cons in my actual review of the overall collection. But today, I just want to focus on the Nintendo Switch version, because a lot of people are saying that this version is like unplayable because it's only outputs resolution to 720p. The frame rate is only 30 FPS, whereas PS5, PC, and Xbox is hitting 60 frames per second. So I personally wanted to try this out for myself and give my own personal opinion on this collection after playing the PS5 version and now moving over to the Switch version. I already went through Metal Gear Solid 2, completely beat Metal Gear Solid 2. Now I'm onward to Metal Gear Solid 3. I'm about halfway through Snake Eater now. And I've been playing the collection mostly on the Switch. I got to be honest with you, after my review of the PS5 version, I have not played it again on the PS5. I've been playing it strictly on the Nintendo Switch, mostly because of convenience factor, being able to take my Switch and go to work and play it on my breaks, or if I'm taking my wife somewhere, then I can play it in the car while she's in the store doing all of her little shopping and stuff like that. It gives me more time to play this game, whereas if I'm playing on the PS5 or the Xbox, I have to be stationary in front of my monitor or my TV. So let's get down to the brass tacks here. Does it have frame rate problems? Yes, it's true the game is only 30 frames per second. I really don't have a problem with that, and I really don't notice it, especially when I'm playing in handheld mode. There are some times within the game, if they're playing a CGI cinematic, a cutscene, yes, the frame rate dips a little, and I kind of notice it, but other than that, it doesn't affect the gameplay. I went through Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty with no problem whatsoever. The frame rate never even came to my mind. It wasn't until I jumped back on the PS5 version, I was like, oh, yeah, I can see the difference now, but it really doesn't make a big difference if you're playing it on a Nintendo Switch. I played this thing on my 75-inch TV, and again, I didn't have a problem with the resolution. 720p, 1080p. Yes, you can tell a difference, right? If you're very sensitive to resolution and frame rate, then you're gonna, really pick up on the differences, and it might bother you. But for me, playing the game on a Nintendo Switch, I actually love the collection even more playing it on a Nintendo Switch, because now I have more ability to play this game in bed, at work, all kinds of different ways I wasn't able to play the PS5 version. And I also have to admit that I grew up with the PlayStation 2 versions of these games. I played Metal Gear Solid on the PS1 when it was first released. I was there day one for Sons of Liberty and Snake Eater when they released on the PS2. So I remember how these games used to look. I played those games for years on the PS2 and the PlayStation 1 on that original hardware. So I know what these games used to look like. And playing it over on the Switch, I was like, hey, this isn't bad. I'm not going to sit here, kick and scream and be spoiled and be like, man, where's my 4K 60 frames per second? If I want to play at a higher frame rate, then yes, I would get the PS5 or Xbox version, which, as a big Metal Gear fan, I did. And I enjoy this version. But you know what? The Switch version is a lot more accessible for me. I can do more things. And all the games run very, very well. I'm playing Snake Eater, and it's fantastic. It's the same game I remember playing, so I am absolutely having a ball playing through this game and playing through these games on this collection on the Nintendo Switch. Now, this is not something for everyone. I think if you are a Nintendo Switch fan, you're going to enjoy playing these games on the console. It's much like, the big debate about Red Dead Redemption coming to the Nintendo Switch and only being 30 frames per second. If you have a Nintendo Switch, you really don't care, right? Like a lot of people like me who have a Nintendo Switch, we have the other consoles. So if we want to play the bigger, better versions on our big TVs or our monitors, we can play it on those other consoles. But for a lot of us, we're willing to sacrifice the resolution and the frame rate to be able to play this thing wherever we want. And I have to tell you, playing these games on the OLED looks fantastic. Like the colors are so vibrant, the blacks are black, and it's absolutely fantastic. And I really enjoy playing the game on the OLED as well. Most of my gameplay has been on a monitor or TV. Like I said, I played through Metal Gear Solid 2. I would play it on my TV. When it's time to go to work, I put it in my bag and I go to work and I play it on my lunch break. And that's what I like about the Nintendo Switch and having the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection on the Nintendo Switch. I'm going to be very curious to how it's going to work when they bring out Master Collection 2, because, you know, we're going to get into like Peace Walker and Metal Gear Solid 4, hopefully, maybe Ground Zero, Phantom Pain. Overall, did Konami do a fantastic job with the collection? No. If you watch my initial review, you know, I hit on a lot of that stuff. But in the end, does it deliver what I want? And that's Metal Gear games on current gen hardware. And in the case of the Switch, being able to play it wherever I want. Yes, it achieves that goal. And if you're going into this wanting to purchase it for that goal, then you're absolutely going to enjoy the experience, much like I have. So overall, I highly recommend, if you are a Nintendo Switch user, maybe you're a hardcore Metal Gear fan, or maybe you never played Metal Gear in your life and you're wanting to know what all the hype is about, I highly recommend getting a Nintendo Switch copy, because I think it runs absolutely great, even though it's only locked at 30 frames per second at 720p. A lot of people might not even notice the slight differences, but that's just my personal opinion on it. I want to know what you guys think. Please be sure to leave your comments in the comment box below. Smash that like and subscribe button for all future content. And until next time, as always, I'm Robert Storms, and that's my opinion.